The purpose of this video is to show you how you can create budget templates in Odoo, and you'll be able to easily create them every time a producer needs to create a budget for a new event. So let's see how this works. Very simple. Let's go to budgets. This is a brand new database as well. So let's create our budget template. I'll name this the budget template. I can assign a period here, and you'll see how these fields will do the 1st through the 31st, and you'll see how these will automatically add the start and stop date according to the dates configured. And I've added a few lines, right? We have food, labor, and transportation, right? All mapped back to specific accounts on the GL. Okay, so this, again, keep in mind, I'm creating the template. This is the only time you'll ever have to create the template. I'm doing this just to show you how you can create a template. Once the template is created, you'll see that here, your team can go in, action, and click duplicate, and that creates a brand new template. And you'll see that template is brand new because now I have 2 of them. So let's go in and let's pretend I'm a producer and I'm going to configure an event. I've added a few custom fields to show you how some automation can occur here. I'm going to have event name, we'll call it Tech Live, and the customer we'll say is the Wall Street Journal, as we've been working with that example. And I can go in and you'll see when I click create event up here, watch what happens here. It creates my analytic account automatically according to the name I gave and according to the contact I've assigned. Now when I go in here and the person who's responsible for indicating a planned amount, watch right here what happens. Let's say I budget 1,000 for that. You'll see automatically as I go save it, it automatically assigns the event. So we'll say 5,000 and we'll say 12, oops, and then we'll go down to the line below and say 12,000, and I'll click save, and it assigns all of those events I just created in real time here. So at this point, I can go in and when I bring in my vendor bills, right, I can assign to the correct accounts. So I can say I'm going to write, I can say vendor X, doesn't matter. Just save it here. I'm going to say a product here. I'm just going to say food. And I can here, when I import it, I'll assign it to my corresponding account, which right now there's just Tech Live. And we'll say it's 1,500, right? And as you go through and you post this, you'll see it'll hit your budget. Because now I'll go to that budget I just created. I would rename the budget to Tech Live Wall Street Journal. You can also have the name automatically populate, but you'll see there's your 1,500 sitting there. Now, let's do another example to satisfy ourselves here. Again, we want to create another budget, duplicate. I'll name this Nick's project, our Nick's event, Nick's special event. And I'll go in here and I'll assign Nick's special event, and I'll say this belongs to Nick Kaczynski as our customer, a brand new customer. Now you'll see when I save and I click create event, it creates my event, Nick's special event, and what this is it's an analytic account. It's essentially a class. You'll see I can drill in and see all that automatically created for me here. But we're not going to get into that now, because what I want to do next is I want to assign planned amount. So I'm going to do 5,000, I'm going to do 10,000, and I'm going to do 20,000. And don't worry about this, because when I save it after editing it, everything goes back to 0 because it assigns it to a new event. Nick's special event for Nick Kaczynski. So you're all set once, because it's assigning it here. When I duplicated it, it brought the value over, but as you save it and update in your planned amount, it automatically hits the event. You don't even need to, if I go back here to the budget and if I do duplicate, you'll see if I then save this to John's event, and I do same thing here, John's event for John Doe, save it, create the event, and I can go in here and you'll see at any point you could leave that 0, but if at any point you edit one of these values, it updates it. That's just how I have it set up. Oops. And you'll see when I do save it, it will assign everything anew, and it'll bring my planned amount to 0. So at this point, I have a few different events, all of which now when I go to my vendor bills, anytime I bring a bill in, I can, I'll say we'll go with our vendor X. We'll say this is for food. I can then code it correctly if I want. Actually, I have, let's do something. I think I just had transportation. Actually, I coded food to a normal expense account. So let's do transportation. It's something that I created. Transport, don't mind my spelling, and then transportation is one of the accounts I did. And I can say which event. I have my 3 events, right? I want to do the latest one for $12.50. I can remove taxes from the equation as well. Post it. Don't mind this black box. It's because I'm in a technical view, it's showing me what's behind the fields. But what's important is now when I go to the budget, and if I pull open, I believe that was John's event, you'll see my $12.50 sitting there in the transportation budgetary position, etc. And if I ever want to go to look at like my profit and loss reports, I can always go in and look at those through the lens of one of my events as well, such as that, and I'll see my $12.50 down here on the P&L. Under expenses, I could drill down into my transportation account on the general ledger, and here I'll see all of the transactions under the transportation account, which are responsible for that. And if I want to review all those items here, I can do that and actually view all the bills in one go. And you'll see a long list of those here, and you want to group by, for example, creation date, by month. All that reporting is available to you in here. Okay, so that is just a quick, again, this is a proof of concept. So you'll, I'm just trying to prove some points here to show you how it can work. If you have any additional questions, please let me know.